guys, welcome back. I'm going to be finishing up this Silver Strike bags cabinet. I did go in there and clean up a bunch of wires. I made a wiring harness for the adapter board that goes from CGA to VGA. So I made this little Molex plug here. So now it's nice and clean. Everything's cleaned up. I did wire tie a bunch of stuff together and clamp some stuff to the walls and stuff. It's not perfect, but so many damn wires. There's only so much you can do. Plus, I want to keep enough access to the computers in case I need to work on them or not. Hopefully I don't. But next I need to do is drill 2 holes here in the center so that I can put the 2 buttons in there. And then we got to get those put together. And then I need to make a bracket because this metal plate that I used a long time ago was missing the studs on there. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I put it on there and realized it afterwards, but what happened was in order for me to change that plate, which I have another plate, but the problem is I ruined the control panel overlay, so I don't want to do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a steel plate that's pretty big. Comes like this, goes up, over top, down, and across, and then I'll probably put 1, 2, 3, 4 screws on each side, and that should pretty much secure it without having an issue. But I got it looking pretty damn good. Once again, the lights are glaring, so it kind of makes it a little bit harder. Let's switch to bags real quick. But yeah, I think it looks good. What a pain in the ass this was. So as strange as it is, when I couldn't get red yesterday, the monitor was acting funny. It kept wanting to shut off. So I don't know if that was causing, that cable must have been causing more than just the red issue to make the monitor want to go to sleep. It wasn't, receiving a signal and stuff like that. It still doesn't show the boot up screen and stuff like that, but I can give a crap about that. I'm just happy it works and both games are in one cabinet. So I'm going to get the drill and an 1.125" drill bit, and we're going to drill these 2 holes out. I just want to center them up just like I did these ones. And I'm actually going to change the bulbs to LED bulbs. And I'm going to use a blue bulb and a red bulb. Actually, I'm going to go grab 2 of those. And we're going to see if it looks better. These bulbs, they're not like super red and super blue. They give it a little bit of a tint. Don't mind my mess in here. I was literally digging through bins trying to find stuff to fix this game. But a long time ago, I bought hundreds of LED light bulbs. I bought them from China, and I literally bought a huge pile of them for cheap. It was like 20 bucks or something a long time ago, probably 10-15 years ago. It was next to nothing. It was cheaper to buy a whole big bunch of them than it was to just get a few of them. So now I'm going to swap these 2 because I want to have a little bit of a red glow for bags and then blue for bowling. So we'll see if these actually shine that color a lot. To be honest with you, usually when you put these in a button, the lens is also tinted that color, so it definitely makes a difference. Yeah, see, it turns red. So that'll make that lens red, and then this one will be blue. It's just a little bit deceiving because the lens, it's a clear bulb. Switch over to bowling, and there's blue. Save these bulbs. I need to put the buttons themselves together, and I'll just do it over here real quick. We did take the Trackball apart last night, cleaned it all, oiled the bearings and all that fun stuff. So that's ready to go back in. I did check it, it does work. That's garbage. But it's another project done down here. Next is I gotta fix track and field. You know what sucks about track and field is I laminated that cabinet years ago, and for some reason the lamination let go on the side. See how it's all bubbled? I have no idea why. The only way to fix that is to pop that lamination off and put new on. Just haven't gotten around to it. I don't know if I'm even going to mess with it anytime soon. So what I need to do here is just quickly take these buttons apart. You just pop this out like this. There's a spring in there too, so you pop this forward. And we got to do bags on one and Silver Strike on the other. I'm going to have to cut these. Target Toss Pro on one, and then bags on the other. Or, I'm sorry, Target Toss Pro and Silver Strike. Let me go grab a pair of scissors real quick. So we'll cut one of these Silver Strike. There's little tiny like lines you can see in there that you got to cut it to. And we'll basically got to take this lens off. You kind of need fingernails to do this, which I don't really have much of. Okay, so you pop that off, you leave that white behind it. If you do have different color ones, you could put it in there. It would make it look a little bit more. And this is too big. Just cut it down. Doesn't have to be perfect. Never going to see it really. Where I'm putting the buttons, it's not really visible. Just like that. And then we'll put it back together. Stick your spring in here. I always take the spring and hold it down, and then I slide that in like that. And let's put the blue bulb into this one. We can see what it looks like. See? Just gives a little bit of a blue appearance. So basically you can't really see what it says, but you can kind of tell, you know, all the blue buttons on it's bowling. Switch it to the red one. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other one off camera, and then we're going to drill the 2 holes, put these in, and then we're going to go out in the shop and we're going to make a bracket for that. Okay, I got to measure where these buttons are going to go. Get these drilled out, put these in, and then we're going to go out to the shop and I'm going to show you how I'm going to make a bracket to fix that trackball problem. So I just want to center these buttons. So I'm just going to measure from hole, inside of the hole to inside of the hole on the speakers, because I know that those are measured evenly. So we're at 14 1/4. So 7 and 7, 7 1/8. Close enough. And then I'm just going to come down 2 inches, and then another 1.5 inches. And those are my 2 buttonholes. I'm using an 1 1/8 drill bit. Now normally I don't use this wider wall one, I use a thin wall one, but they're in the shop and I don't feel like walking back and forth. This will work just fine. Once we drill this, we're gonna have to drill 2 smaller holes for these pins, and these pins keep these buttons from twisting. And I'm going to use my vacuum to try to catch some of this dust. Actually, I'm going to carefully set it on the computer in here, maybe, if I can. Or not. I'll get a, you know, I'll use my bench or the stool. Now I'm going to finish it from underneath. So now what I have to do is try to press the button into the wood and give it a little bit of an impression that I can drill the hole. I don't know that this, if I can really kind of get low enough to show you, maybe. Alright, let me go get a drill bit. Okay, so I'm going to sit down here. And we are going to see if I can push this into it. Leave some sort of a mark, hopefully. These don't need to go very deep at all. Off a little bit on this side, it looks like. Okay, that's one. And then that keeps it from spinning right to left. All right. Beautiful. So now we get those mounted and put the bulbs in it. I'm putting the bags in the back because that always, the bowling one always turns on first when you turn the game back on. Now, the good thing about having those pegs in there, you don't have to go super crazy tightening these. Okay, turn this on. Actually, no, we can wait to turn it back on. I already put the bulbs in, so I know that the blue goes on the top here. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of group up these wires a little bit and zip tie them. And then we are going to, I'm going to start measuring for the trackball. All right, so now what I need to do is set this trackball in place. Then I can take some measurements here. So I want the flange to be long enough that I can put 4 holes in it and then be spaced far enough apart to not pose a problem. So I'm gonna go with a 3-inch flange. So the bracket we're gonna make is gonna look like this. So that's going to be 3 inches, 3 inches. And now we're going to come up 1 7/8. And then we got to go across the whole trackball, plus a little bit more. So 5 3/4. So 5 3/4. So we're going to go make this bracket. And I have these 4 bolts in my pocket that we are going to use to go through the bracket into these holes here. And that's going to keep the trackball from ever wanting to flop around, even though it shouldn't, because it's through the metal hole on the front side. We're just going to do that to be on the safe side. So we'll have to measure these out in the shop exactly where I need to drill the holes. We'll drop these bolts through the metal, and I'll just weld them a little bit, and that'll be it. So let's head out to the shop and get this made. And then after that, I pretty much just need to put the back on it and screw this down and we'll be done. Okay, this is what I have laying around that scrap. So it's a little rusty. I'll clean it up and spray some spray paint on it. But I'm gonna go the width of this and cut this edge off here, because this is 4 inches and that's about how wide I wanted to make it. I do want to get rid of these holes though. So we'll cut that off. All right, so now we got to go 3 inches plus 2 and 2. So 3 and 3 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus 5 and 3/4. That's 15 and 3/4. And now I'm saying these are 2 because I'm measuring to the outside edge. The inside's going to be 1 7/8 because this is 1/8 inch steel and this isn't long enough. Okay, that's okay. We'll just do these ears at like 2 inches. So 2 inches, we're taking 2 inches off, which would be 13 and 3/4. That'll be close. Well, we're gonna make it work one way or another. I'm not buying a piece of steel to make this bracket. So we're just gonna go from here to here. I'm gonna cut it as long as I possibly can, and we'll figure it out at that point. And what the ears end up being is what they end up being. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this off, that off, and then we'll cut this long part off. Okay, now we're gonna get this thing bent up. So I gotta see what I ended up with total length here. Just about 12.5. So the center would be 6 1/4. And then the top is 5 3/4. So half of that is 2 3/8. No, 2.5 and 2.5 plus 3/8, 2 7/8. Yep, okay. So these will be our first 2 bends. go a little too far. Now we gotta go 1 7/8, and what's ever left over is left over. That's what we're gonna have to work with. Trying to think how I'm gonna bend this. I'm gonna be able to bend this one on here. Go like that, and if I bend upwards, that brings it in. So that's not gonna work. Let me think here. Yeah, it brings it in. It'd have to go this way. I think we're going to have to make the other 2 bends on the vise with a hammer. So let's go do that. This is some thick steel. Figure out how I'm going to bend it straight, because it got a little crooked from me bending it. Close, a little off still. pretty close there. /16 inch and 7/8. So we're perfect. Now, man, I didn't bring the trackball out here. Crap. Oh yeah, I did. Haha, thought I forgot it. So now I need to figure out the holes. It looks like I can only put 2 of them in, which is fine. 2's better than none. And that'll just keep it from floating around in there. Gotta work with what you have sometimes. So the center of this is 6 inches on the outside. So 3 inches is our center point. And then center of a hole to center of a hole is 4 and 7/16. So what's half of 4 1/2? 2 1/4. So 2 1/4, a little bit over 2 1/4. Is that right? Yeah. And then we have 4 7/8, or 4 and, what did I say? Just under 4 7/16. Okay, now this piece of metal is just under 4. Okay, and then we need to make a couple holes here. I'm going to make 3. I wanted to have 4, but only do so much. So 1/2, 1/2, and then what do we have in the middle here? We have 3 inches, so go 1 1/2. Looks like I gotta bend this a little bit straighter. Hammered on the floor for a minute. All right, I'm just gonna go weld these real quick off camera and I'll be back. Okay, let's get this installed and we'll give it a try. On these trackballs, it tells you rotation. That always points towards the screen. All right, I'm gonna need to put a washer between there and there because there's a little gap between the plate and the stud, which is fine. I'd rather have a little bit of a gap than not enough. One of the washers I got, the hole's not big enough. That's stupid. We're in our washer. These are 3/4 inch long, and they're like a number 8 or 10 screw. Battery's dead. Solid. Really? How does that even happen? Yep, that's nice and solid. Let's turn it on. While it's warming up, I'm going to pause the camera and booting up rather, and tighten the control panel. Put the bolt back in it. All right, I need to go into settings for bowling because the volume was really loud on this one. I did plug in the trackball. Oh, interesting. Did I put the trackball upside down? I think I did. What's going on here? All right, give me a second. Okay, one of the 2 trackball plugs were not in, so hopefully it's in the right way. It's upside down. Okay, I'll have to spin it around. I think. Can I change the plugs? I wonder. Maybe. We need to go to general settings. We need to go to operator adjustables. We go to sound, gain and volume. We want to turn that down. The track sounds are off. Alright, I'm going to have to get into the operator's menu, you go to dip switch 202 and number 4 you flip on. So I'm going to get this back off and then I'm going to see if I can just switch the 2 wires on the trackball or if I need to spin it around. The wires on the trackball were actually plugged in backwards. So hopefully that now it's correct. Because I knew I put the arrow the right way. Let's turn off a couple of lights and we'll try the bowling, make sure that works.
Welcome to Silver Strike Bowling. I'm Matt Kern, and announcing today's game is Randy Peterson, holder of 13 career titles. Let's roll. All right, here we go.
No, I got the ball in backwards.
He's putting some curve on that ball.
Okay, I got to move the ball.
One more chance to write that
So
down.
let me do that so that we can try this properly, and then I'll be back. Okay, let's try that again now. I put the ball in upside down. I had the arrow pointing towards the floor. I got confused when the thing was up. All right, we'll just try this once or twice. I have not tried the trackball on the bags game.
This curve will give him some extra pit action. 8 down, 2 up. Here's the roll.
The screen's a little fuzzy, but not horrible.
This guy's bringing the heater.
Okay, so we're gonna get out of here.
Stay right there. Awesome. Let's see that incredible strike again.
I'm gonna lower that volume a little bit more. It's still loud. Get it? That's at 35%. I'm gonna take it down to 30. Let me do that real quick. Flip that switch back. All right, so now we're going to switch to bags. And we'll try the trackball, make sure the buttons work and everything else. Right now it's showing lawn darts. So basically, you can pick between lawn darts or bags. So we'll just do lawn darts. One player. Just do classic. Just want to make sure it works. This needs turned up. I wonder if I can turn it while it's on a game.
Who's ready for inning 2?
Did it do it? No. Oh, this one has a volume on there. Okay, hold on. Okay, so this is a little bit different because this is right and left rotation, but on here it's going to be that. I wonder if I'm missing a button. Just go there with that. That's higher, lower. Okay. All right, so we're good with the buttons that we have.
Bam! 3 points. Right there for 3. That's good for 3. Let's look at the board. Start of the 3rd. In the ring for 1. In the ring for 3. Kick-ass. Nice. Let's check the progress.
So if we want to get out of here, we'll just go quit player. Yes. And then hit the start and go down to bags. Just do classic bags on here.
Thanks, Matt. Announcing today's game allows me to give back to the sport, which has given me so much.
Okay, now I need to see if this button works like it's...
In sunny Colorado, EL1.
Okay, so it's not letting me change between flop and shot type. So I'm missing a button. I'm gonna have to figure that out. So I'm gonna have to drill another button.
That was nice. Checking the scorecard. Top of the second inning.
Oops.
He gets one. This is one of my favorite tosses.
I usually play slide, not flop.
Nice play. In the count, let's check the numbers. There are 4 more innings. Get ready. Here we go. Okay. He lands it for 1. Good toss. Let's see that shot again.
All right.
This is where the game stands.
So yeah, it looks like I'm gonna need a 4th button. I don't remember on the instructions or on the control panel. It's out in the shop.
The 4th inning.
I don't remember if it had to have 4 buttons over there, or maybe let's look at the instruction booklet. Let's see what this thing says.
What's your time?
Yeah, lady.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Timeout. 1 bag penalty.
What the heck's the control panel? No, it's only showing 2 buttons. So why would that not work?
What's your time? 5, 4, 3,
Let's go back to bowling
1.
and see if that overhead button works. But I don't know why it would have. I don't even remember why there's overhead on there for bowling.
Welcome to Silver Strike Bowling. Hi, I'm Matt Kern. Announcing today's game is Randy Peterson, holder of 13 career titles.
Oh. So that means I need another freaking wire I need to run up to here to work on bags. The cool thing about this game is you can go here, you can go to customize, and you can go to equipment. You can get whatever type of equipment you want, whatever type of clothing you want. You can be a lefty or a righty. Go to shirts. There's literally hundreds to choose from. Shirts, pants, all that stuff, hats. Go to go backwards once. Righty, how do I go back? Oh, return to game. So go to equipment. You can choose balls that you want. There's just tons of different ones. You can pick what style hook you want. You can pick up to 5 balls, and you can have a regular ball for strike, you know, for your first ball. You can have a spare ball and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I guess I need to put another button in. Just gonna put it right here. Probably just another white one. And then I'm gonna have to run a wire over to there, to the JAMA harness. So I thought I was done with this, but I guess not. But I'm gonna end this. Obviously it's just one more button, not that big a deal. I'll just do it off camera, unless I figure something else out, and I'll let you know. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much gonna wrap this up. We have it working, just need a button. Wish I can get the graphics a little bit less fuzzy. Doesn't show up on the camera, it does in person, but you know what, you can only do so much. But other than that, that's it. So I'm going to end this. If you guys like this kind of stuff, let me know. Something different than the 80s, early 90s games, like mainly 80s games. We need to get to track and field. I need to fix that. Need to open it up and see what that ticking sound is. Flyback probably. I have no idea what monitor is in there. I don't remember what I put in there. It's been years. And I'm going to pull the computer out of here and see if I find bad capacitors in it, because that's where I'm at with that one. It just sits in the screen saying waiting to initialize components, which means it's waiting to, you know, initialize the steering and all that stuff. So I'm going to look at the computer, make sure there's no capacitors that are big, and then the next step, if there's not, I'm going to unhook the force feedback on the steering and see if that makes a difference, because I've read that that could possibly be bad, causing it not to initialize. So I'm not sure. But all right, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It doesn't cost anything. Any questions or comments, feel free to ask, and if you wouldn't mind hitting the thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. So thanks for watching, guys.